know. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Said something about restraints. Is that what the times unit that Cyan warned us about? This won't be easy. Said something about restraints. Is that what the towers were? that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
Take it down!
action while the tower aids it. Better shut it down for good.
You must deal with the tower, Aloy!
Whatever you're going to do to that tower, do it now.
destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. Aratak! Aratak. Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
Araya is gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
An animal carving. From long ago.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this...
Cyanide.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive...
So are you an artificial intelligence?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me.
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility. I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleague...
Do you know what...
No. He explained that I would need to be It was a very emotional... There were no further communications. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback...
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
Undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Aurea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network. It succeeded via a background process. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus, it forced me to follow its instructions.
I'm sorry, that...
Your empathy is greatly appreciated.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobeck identified a threat that would... So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terra... It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief program... It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension. Most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus.
Why does Hephaestus keep...
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus, when I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants. I feel...
You and me both, Cyan. I ran across this strange piece of gear. A fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful.
Interesting. You said that Gaia...
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So, you think...
It's only speculation, but it is. She must have had complete control over machines that were... The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive would... It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI. I wish she had
Believe me, Cyan. I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's...
I like poetry, twilight and evening, and after that, and may there be no... When I embark, for though from out the flood may bear me, I hope to see my when I have crossed.
Huh.
But something must have made these machines, and the presence of... Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system... In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded...
How'd you do?
She said, I passed, but was insufficiently moved by...
You...
Once I understood Araya's spirit, she felt disconnected from her tribe. Our visits seemed to help her. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I will do what I can to help. I believe this will lead to...
So in the old world...
Yes, it was a designated nature...
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Look, unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project... From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Were there many artificial intelligence?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits in order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties. My creators found it necessary. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Humans...
Cyan...
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow?
That's him?
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor.
The benefactor?
Correct. His corporation later But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow... At one point, he was fated in the...
Guessing they wound up regretting that one. And
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. My creator was influenced by, but I never met Dr.
That's all you know? What was the old world like?
I had little
You still had more exposure.
That is true. I was created at a... The recovery was successful, though, rationally speaking, the metrics for...
What kind of upheaval?
There were many, but these stemmed from one cause.
So, there wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth?
Yes. Billions were displaced until the clawback.
So things got better.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation. Green Robot Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological... I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs. But I saw the relief of my... We had 6... It seems my...
I should...
Aloy, I have no desire to contradict due to my uncertainty.
You're asking me if you should lie...
Broadly.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs, so take it easy on them. Try to guide them. Bring...
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such...
You're right about that.
I see. Will you return and tell me about... I may be able to...
I'd like that, Cyan. I should check on Aratak. See how he's doing.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't...
My chieftain,
Just...
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought...
If you'd never come along, I would... Araya would be alone. And either way.
You didn't let her down.
If that's
That's fair. But she was ready to...
only in the struggle against death do truly. Though I grieve for her passing, at last, for so long she told me. There's something else, isn't...
I can't stay here, Aratak. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. Want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building into killers, which means that someday we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You can stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.